is Natasha Rivera, and my project is Sweet Boys. I am the writer and director. So Sweet Boys is based off of a poem that I wrote, and it touches on systemic racism, generational trauma, societal limitations, and it is my version of a love letter to youth, to East Harlem, and to all the sweet boys that I grew up with who society had a hand in turning into really hard men. Yeah, so I have been filmmaking for a while, and I was just sitting down one day, I wrote a poem, didn't think about it, stored it away, and then as I was starting to transition more full-time into writing and directing, I went back to this poem, and it meant so much to me because I grew up in East Harlem in the early 90s, and when you're from where I'm from, sometimes it feels like, and a lot of it is actual, it's not just feeling, that society is putting you into a box, and no matter what you do, no matter how smart you are, no matter how hard you try, you can't really break out of it. And you have these paths that are predetermined for you, and I hate that, and I decided to write something about it, and I hope that this film serves as kind of like a commentary on that for anyone who might not know what that looks like to grow up in that society and be forgotten, really, and then also for the people from my community to have some kind of hope. My influences for this project is the extremely eclectic community of people that I grew up with. There is never a person that you're going to meet that doesn't have a story, and so I pull a lot of inspiration from my community because they have very lived lives, I guess is the best way to say it, and there's a lot to pull from there. I'm endlessly inspired by them. So I won the production services micro grant, and it is just the perfect amount of money to add an extra day as a location fee in a school that we're shooting in, which is 60% of the filming locations. And when you're making it scrappy and low budget like we are, that micro grant really kind of just gave us an ease that allowed us to be a little more creative in terms of scheduling and really taking advantage of the location. So it was huge. I work very closely with my husband, who is also a writer, a director, and an actor. So that's always fun when we can get together on the same page and get really jazzed up about something. We booked for our lead this incredible, phenomenal woman named Cidney Padilla, and she is a poet and an educator and a performer, and this is her first time being in a film, and I'm really excited not only to work with her, but for her to have this opportunity. And then our constant collaborators, Chelsea Smith, who does our production design, and Bruce Mitchell, who is like one of the most talented cinematographers that I've worked with on any level. So to get to work with him on this is really exciting. So I am from East Harlem, born and raised. I have a background in dance and musical theater. I was on that track for a really long time until I had an injury, and that kind of like changed my path and kind of reignited my love for writing. So then I fell into assistant directing, and I've been super lucky to work on some really awesome shows like The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel and Godfather of Harlem and Fallout and The Politician. And just like, I didn't get a chance to go to film school because that wasn't like a financial possibility for me. But in working on all these projects, I have kind of put myself through my own film school and asked a bunch of questions with some of the best in the industry. So I'm really lucky in that way. I'm really into travel. I've been to quite a few countries so far, and I'm still going. And in terms of projects that I'm working on, I'm working on a documentary series that speaks to the Puerto Rican culture and identity, and then talks about the Afro-Boricua diaspora. And America's relationship with Puerto Rico. It's still evolving, but that's like the basic explanation that I have down so far. And then I'm also, I don't know if you can see it, it's been a couple of years, my husband and I are working on a original series about a Puerto Rican superhero who works for the Child Protective Services agency in New York in the near future. And she is kind of fed up with the bureaucratic justice system, and she uses her superpowers to take matters into her own hands. So the story follows her for hopefully 3 seasons. So we're in the process of developing that and hopefully get really lucky and show it to someone who loves it. As a Latina filmmaker, it's really important to me to be able to tell stories about my community and communities like me with the dignity and the respect that they deserve. And it's really fulfilling. It's really heartwarming to take the time to apply to these grants and then have such wonderful feedback, and also get the funds that you need to make these dreams come true, because they are dreams and they are stories. And I'm hoping that in working really hard on them and getting them out there, that even if it changes one person's life or thought, I did something right. And I'm very proud of that. So thank you, Pano, for this opportunity. I really appreciate it. And yeah.